Worldwide.
All right, there's some characters in the world that I find fascinating. I don't know if it's their posture, their overall demeanor, or the way they deliver things when they speak. However you want to cut it, I have somebody that I personally find fascinating. And in case you don't know who you're looking at right now, you're looking at Detroit's own Dawgface, an affiliate of T Grizzly. And yeah, he appeared on the Real Report with Tony Ayo and Uncle Murder. And let's just say he had a couple choice words for a couple people. Now, before we even get into it, I go by the name of Caesar, aka Mr. Sneaker Rider, and you're tuned into Apparently This Happened. And before we even proceed, do me a super solid like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. And without any further ado, let's get into it.
You on the show, it's the Real Report. We know you the spokesperson for JR, you know, Detroit. We know the whole situation. Talk about that. We know he's in federal custody. We know he got busy. We know it's NBA young boy people and Junior and them. Like, what's going on? Because you the spokesperson. Have you spoken to him?
Yeah, I spoke to him. I spoke to him yesterday. So, I mean, how far you want me to go into this shit? Let's just give you a brief synopsis of what took place.
Man.
Allstar JR and
Don't get
Junior.
nobody locked up. No extra people locked up in this motherfucker.
No, only one locked up is Allstar JR. He's the only one locked up. And he's locked up, and he was officially charged with being a felon in possession of a firearm. But the amazing thing about it is that you had multiple people who were shot by him, admittedly so, and he's not charged with no crimes of violence. He's not charged with shooting nobody or hurting nobody, none of that kind of shit. He's solely charged with being a felon in possession of a firearm that he recovered during an assault and a robbery of him. That's already in the federal complaint.
Right.
The one thing that I find kind of weird about this, right? It's fair enough he's considered a felon. Okay, cool. But as a felon, with everybody who was present and all the witnesses, the surveillance footage, everything in between, right? How is it that they can't make an exception to the rule and say, okay, under these stipulations and under this particular set of circumstances, this man had no choice because he had no idea whether he was going to die or whether he was going to make it out of there, whatever, right? In one piece. So him grabbing a weapon that he didn't even bring to the scene and he happened to pick up off the floor and brandish himself and let off, I think they have to show some leniency in that regard, man. You know? But even him being denied bond and all that, it's just cold-blooded, and it's confusing to me even further because this is in the state of Texas, man. Stand your ground and all that exists, so how can they not use that, in this case? Unless it's because he left the scene and whatnot. He should have stayed on the scene, but if you stay on the scene, man, like, who knows who else the people are gonna call? Either way, man, like, I'm just saying, like, it's kind of,
So when you read the federal complaint, it says that he's charged with being a felon in possession of a firearm with nothing else, right? And in the complaint, it articulates the fact that he was the victim of an assault and a robbery because they snatched his change and pulled his watch off his arm, you hear me?
Right.
So that's the craziest part about it. The other crazy part about it is that everything that the NBA camp said in response to JR and the world kind of like becoming aware of what took place, everything about that shit, it is what it is. It's a bunch of cats out of Houston, out of Baton Rouge, basically saying the feds snatched him up because they wanted him to make a statement. The statement is in the video. I saw the entire video.
Right.
What the world saw was just a snippet of what happened. I've also saw the restaurant footage from the parking lot showing Jay Prince and
How
the whole.
you got to see all this footage?
Cause we got motherfuckers who in the restaurant. You know what I'm saying? We got chicks who work there. You know what I'm saying? So we got to see all that shit. The shooting happened. He fled. He dropped the gun. He left it there at the service podium, right? And he walked about that motherfucker, jumped in his car, and got the fuck on. Feds never had the opportunity. Law enforcement, period, local, state, or federal, never had the opportunity to talk to him because he left the gun, just like some mafia shit. Like when you watch the old mafia movies, once you bang a motherfucker, you ain't gotta. They looking for the pistol. You ain't gotta look for it because it's right.
But is that the problem? Because he left the scene. But as I said before, like, what was he supposed to do? Kick back and wait for the guys to circle back with the reinforcements, more artillery, and and get ragged up? Nah, come on. There has to be an exception to the rule. the stipulations behind whatever it is, like, okay, felon in possession of a weapon, fair enough, under normal circumstances. But this situation, come on.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He left, jumped in his truck and got the fuck on, and he came back to Michigan. So they never had the opportunity to talk to him except through his lawyer, because he lawyered up right away. They never had the opportunity to talk to him. The only people who had the opportunity to talk to are the people who was in the hospital, shot the fuck up, paralyzed, with shit bags on, with missing fingers. Only people he had to talk to was them niggas. Simple as that. They made statements. And that's why it's some confusion about, or that's why it's an issue about who had the pistol, who had what, when, where, and how.
Right.
They made.
Another thing is, how is it that the people who are said to be the alleged assailants, right, the attackers, not one charge, and everything that took place is on video, not one charge, right? Now, the only other thing that I can think of is when it comes to self-defense, right? And this is aside from the state of Texas being a stand your ground, state, right? If you get into a fist fight and you pull out a knife and you poke somebody with the knife, right? You've kind of escalated what's going on. Because they'll say, hey, he was getting the best of me, I pull out a knife, but it's supposed to be hand to hand, period. Once you pull out a knife, man, you kind of escalate the whole situation, man, and now, it's a weapon. It outbeats, fists. Same thing with the gun. So are they trying to look at the situation and say, okay, yeah, they were getting the best of him, and then, whatever happened, he could have fought them off and become a superhero and just, beat them all up, right? Okay, cool. That would have been cool. But the fact that he grabbed a weapon that wasn't even his, he got it off the ground, and he fired at the people because he was outnumbered. He's getting jumped. Doesn't make sense, man. The law sometimes, just like they say, the wheels of justice grind slow. But to add to that, I feel like the wheels of justice, are not, greased right. Doesn't run smooth.
Statements. And when you look at the federal complaint, another amazing fact about it is the federal complaint says he was a victim of an assault and robbery. I ain't advocating niggas get locked up, but when you look at this shit from a straight line, if you've been in trouble before at all, if you know about the legal system at all, so these niggas robbed him and jumped on him, and he grabbed their gun, and even in the federal complaint, it don't say he had the firearm with him the entire time. It says that as he was being assaulted and took for his shit,
right,
he grabbed the firearm that hit the floor.
Right.
Don't say he had it the whole time, right? And he grabbed it and he banged them niggas. And it was what it was. They got what they were supposed to get for playing how they played it.
Facts.
Get spring ready with Canadian Tire's Spring Super Sale. Save up to 40% on select vacuums, appliances.
If you happen to
backyard
see this,
essentials, and
remind
more
me to get
until May
premium.
14th.
All right.
Not only are we made in Canada, we're made up of a long history of caring for Canadians' skin. Safe, pure, respectful formulas that feel like they were made for you from everything you value most.
So when you spoke to him, how was his energy? He feel like he might beat that case.
We beating that shit because
That's
it is what it is. Everything is spelled out. They trying to play it like, oh, they want JR to make a statement. If he make a statement, it's going to trigger a bigger indictment with Jay Prince Jr. and all the rest of it.
That makes absolutely no sense, man. If you require the person who's the said victim to write a statement to trigger a RICO or whatever you guys are trying to trigger, because the ultimate thing is, another thing that I'm realizing too is these guys are affiliated with NBA YoungBoy. They've been trying to get NBA YoungBoy out the paint for a long time. Or maybe he's been trying to get himself out the paint for a long time. It depends on how you look at it, right? But whichever way you look at it, for them to wait for him to write a statement to trigger anything, it's the most nonsensical, redundant thing I've ever seen, unless it's a stipulation within the law. Because the way I see it, if you have surveillance footage, so you're trying to tell me that if a man was had his life taken and it was caught in surveillance, they wouldn't process the information because they need somebody to write a formal witness statement to say, I saw the man getting taken off this planet. Does that make sense? Or maybe I'm looking at it through a very narrow view and I need to broaden my view. I don't know. That's why I'm open to learning. If you guys know a little something about something, break it down for me. Teach me a little something. But that makes absolutely no sense. You're going to wait for the man to write a statement so that you guys can go and get the guys you saw with your own eyes, a whole precinct and some. You need a statement to do that? Wild.
Shit, it is what it is. Motherfucker, you niggas play with it. They got the surveillance footage. They have y'all all talking the whole story that CJR made a mistake. So in his forever quest to try to prove himself, he took to Instagram and he made an Instagram post wherein which he said that he arrived late at OG 33's party, who was like second, third in command of Never Broke Again, the extra
NBA
labor.
Youngboy people.
Yeah, he said he made a statement and put it on Instagram, and his daddy made him take it down because all you did was just give him a chronological timeline.
Yep.
All you did is really explain from your perspective what happened, and you finna nail yourself because that shit ain't what happened. And it ain't gonna.
Once you put something and you leave a digital footprint, you're giving the feds the ability to know your exact location and your whereabouts so they can put together the perfect timeline to now correlate everything to make everything make sense. But I guess his pops, like, having wisdom, told him to do that, but it's too late. Somebody screen grabbed it. The feds already saw it. The feds pretty much have everybody's notifications on if you're somebody, right? Or if you're somebody that they have the radar on. Nowadays, the feds don't even have to do much work. Everybody else is doing the work. They go on Reddit, they hear what people are saying, because literally on Reddit, like, if you go on Reddit sometimes, like, you will get the whole chunk of what really happened before even the news. You know who did it, how they did it, when it happened, where it happened, and what was the turn of events that made it happen. It's wild, man. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm living in the Twilight Zone these days, man. Like, I don't know. I feel like I grew up in the wrong time. I'm older now, yeah, like, you know, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of, like, I never imagined in a million years that I'll be witnessing a lot of what's happening. Street code gone. Code of ethics gone. Now everybody, like, someone breaks their leg, they go right to the internet. Somebody gets a leg blown off, straight to the internet, on live. Like, whoa. It's wild, bro.
It don't take much. The footage itself contradicts what Junior's original statement was.
Right.
And his statement is that he was moving around throughout the course of his day. He had no idea this was going to happen. He had no idea that he was going to see JR. And that he arrived late to a party that was already taking place at Confessions.
Right.
That's a lie. You know what I'm saying? The NBA OG3's birthday party with him and his family, NBA Ron, Dead End, nigga, all them niggas, it was at a restaurant in Houston called Atlantic Ocean, right? They were all there. Well, Junior wasn't there, they were there. When they pulled up to Confessions, they all pulled up together. So when Junior said, hey, I arrived late because I had to go to my aunt's birthday party, which was a family affair, and I had to go to physical therapy. So that's why I arrived late with no jury on, and I didn't have regular mob ties, figures, or security with me, because Junior never goes anywhere without security, because he ain't going nowhere without no security, because he ain't like that. He needs somebody to help him out. He needs a helping hand. He ain't just bopping around that bitch, even though he's born and raised in Houston. He ain't bopping around that motherfucker by himself because he can't. So that was the statement that he made on Instagram. When you look at the overall footage, especially the parking lot footage, you see them all pull up together. And he said that he came late because he had his aunt's birthday party and because he had physical therapy. The whole incident transpired at 11:30 on April 8th. April 8th was a Wednesday. The restaurant closed at 12 at midnight. Y'all all got there at 11:30. The footage show y'all all getting there together at 11:30. So there was no party that Junior was late for, because Junior and the NBA camp came together. And as JR was leaving, at 11:30, that's when they were coming.
So basically, in a nutshell, I think what he's saying is somebody had to drop on him. Somebody had to drop on him. Somebody within that restaurant was either like, an affiliate of J. Prince Jr. or they had been tailing him the whole time, or somebody had, like, from his entry into Houston, they were on him up until that very point at Confessions. See how the timeline is just like, it's making itself make sense. And even a person like myself, I'm not a detective. I'm a civilian. But with a little bit of information, it's not that hard to, like, connect the dots, man. It's not that hard at all. At all.
So the whole theory and the whole story, he put his foot in his mouth by telling that whole shit like that. And then when the NBA can't talk to academics said he retold the story about he pulled up, Junior pulled up to a party that was already going. They wasn't even there. Right? When the footage of the whole situation, they wasn't there. They Junior Allstar JR was leaving and they were coming. And the confrontation happened right at the elevator.
It was
you know what I'm
coordinated.
saying? So it was an orchestrated measure, man.
Yep.
J. Prince Jr. is a despicable piece of shit. He's a horrible. Can I cuss? No.
Yeah, you can say
okay, he a horrible cocksucking ass nigga. He is not his father.
Wow.
He is not his father. He's tarnishing the entire image of the whole Rap-A-Lot dynasty and empire. That nigga is not his daddy. He a trust fund baby, trying to be something that he's not. And that's why he constantly and consistently finds himself in situations like we have right now. It is what it is. The whole, when you look at Duke the Jeweler situation, you look at the Takeoff situation, these guys, speaking of mob ties, right? If it's mob rule in effect, like I told people, man, listen, when it comes to checking in, right? Checking in is not a sucker thing. Checking in really came from the streets. It's a street principle. It ain't about, when I go somewhere, if I come to New York, if I check in with you, if I tap in with you, that's not me being a hoe. It's not me being a coward. It's not me being scared.
But checking in, this how New York niggas look at it.
At the end of the day, the story about J. Prince Jr. or the stories about J. Prince Jr. at this point are insurmountable. Like, they're like undeniable. The question of his character, I know they say if you meet three people, you get three different versions of who or what they think of you. Okay? I get that. But J. Prince Jr. and being dark or having darkness is synonymous. Him having bad vibes or him always being involved in things that are like kind of, it's a reoccurring theme. And at some point we have to like look at it and say, okay, cool. At some point we have to be real with ourselves and be like, maybe he's a cruddy dude. Because on one side, people call him a cornball. You're nothing like your daddy. So I've known in the past people who have, fathers who are influential people, athletes, etc. You're living in the shadow of your father's shadow, right? And with all that nepotism thrown around and all that, it affects people's psyche. So, they find themselves having to prove a point. But in him having to prove whatever point it is, instead of embracing the fact that, you know what, I grew up in the suburbs. I grew up pretty well off. I had a pretty plush life. I'm very privileged. Look around. Look at everything that my dad afforded me. I'm chilling. He wants to be so much like his dad, and he wants to prove a point. And him wanting to prove a point is going to be the reason why they all get tangled in a web that they can't get themselves out of. On one side, it'll be one thing that's going to make the whole deck of cards just drop. And that includes his dad too. His dad, who's managed to evade the feds, DEA, whoever, for decades. This man has been doing what he's been doing for a very long time. And I'm talking about Senior, J. Prince Sr. But what Dawgface is saying is highly factual. At this rate, J. Prince is one incident away from getting the whole legacy that J. Prince Sr. set up crumbling.
We we used to the backdoor situation since we was young. This is New York.
Facts.
Niggas is grimy. Bitches spit razors out their mouth.
Right.
Same cut on the train.
Same Toronto.
It's New York. We been grimy.
Yeah.
So for us, we never checked in because we not going to trust nobody.
Right.
So if I check in, that's how I know you were littles, right?
Right.
That's my way of, yo, Dawgface is cool. He fuck with my man.
Right.
But we ain't gonna go to LA and tap in with no Bloods and no Crips like that.
Yeah.
Niggas are just gonna chill, go to their hotel. We might have Blood and Crip friends down the line, like G-Unit, but we never really, I check it in as just going to the nice hotel and staying low.
Right. But listen, let's take it down the line for a second.
When it comes to checking in, back in the day, just like Dawgface was saying, it's a G code, man. It's a way of letting a man know that, hey, I'm stomping in your grounds right now, man. And that man who is the overseer of the area makes sure that you have great passage, safe passage. No issues. Everyone is they let everybody know on the street, hey, such and such is coming, pave the way for him. When you see him, treat him like you see me. There's that respect. Person goes into the city, they handle their business, they leave. Right? But in places like Toronto, New York, etc., it doesn't work like that. The second you tell somebody, that person's, I bet, but you've alerted them that you're coming, they know that you're going to come with all your jewelry, money, a couple of you guys got the same, everything will be going smooth, and then they backdoor you. It could be the security who backdoors you. It could be the girls that you're hanging out with that backdoor you. It could be the plug that's bringing you all the all the paraphernalia that you need, man, and libations. Backdooring you. It could be anybody. It could be the person at the hotel that you're living at, you staying at the time, backdooring you. So that whole check-in thing, it from back in the day, it worked perfectly. It was how kings did for each other, royalty did for each other. Same concept. I'm responsible for you when I'm in your neck of the woods. You're responsible for me when I'm in vice versa. But now, it's grimy, man.
So let's go back to the 5 families in La Cosa Nostra, right?
Let's go.
When Lucky Luciano or even Bumpy Johnson, right? When Bumpy Johnson, he always came to Detroit. Madden Sinclair always came to Detroit. The Harlemites always came to Detroit to fuck with the gangsters, the black gangsters in the city of Detroit, and Chicago as well, right? When Bumpy and them and Madden came to Detroit, the check-in was just like an acknowledgement. This is my territory. This is my land. I know what's going on here. I know the lay of the land. So when you come here out of respect for you and the respect for me, I'm responsible. I can't have something happen to you. So I'm going to have to explain what happens to you to my niggas from Brooklyn or from Queens. Or
Simple.
From the 5, but they want to know what happened.
Right. Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm responsible for you. So the respect thing, so the check-in thing is not for suckers. It's not for civilians. The check-in thing is for gangsters. If you come to Detroit, you tap in with me, you tap in with Little, we're responsible for you because you a gangster. You come from gangster to cloth. It ain't for just a regular rank and file civilian. If you're a regular rank and file civilian and you have no motion, you have no there. If there's no there to you, then nigga, you can just go to the Dairy Queen or go to fucking 31 Flavors, go to Dunkin' Donuts all you want to. But if you come to Detroit, you gotta, out of respect for me, because I'm responsible for you. If something happens to you, the people who know me and you, right, they're gonna look to me to figure out what the fuck happened with murder. They're gonna call it. If something happens to you, if something happened, they're gonna look to me anyway because I'm there. You ain't murdering, check in, they ain't check in with you. He ain't check in on me, it ain't no sucker shit.
No, I understand.
It is gangster shit. It's for gangsters, it ain't for civilians.
Yeah, but for
some
me,
suckers do check in too though.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Some suckers have to check in.
It's called.
It's a flip side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they do it. They do it for the because it's been everything is watered down. All gangster shit, all street shit.
But see, my checking in might be easy because I'm gonna say if we go to Chicago, niggas gonna be like, yo, let's go check out O Block tourists.
Right.
I'm not doing that. I'm going right to the Waldorf.
Right.
I'm ordering my room service. I'm kicking it back. I'm in downtown Chicago. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
Oh, so
if I go to Detroit, I'm gonna be at the Athenaeum Hotel.
Facts.
That's a nice spot, right? Athenaeum, been going there for years.
Yeah.
Chill downtown, go to Eminem spot, get some good food. Might go to Coney's.
No, you just violated by saying that shit. You said don't say that shit no more.
What?
Wow.
Yo, that's my brother. I'm going to the spaghetti spot. I'm going to go to Eminem spot.
No.
I'm gonna go to yo. Listen, I'm gonna go to Eminem spot. I'm gonna go to Coney's. Look, I'm gonna go to Coney's.
Yeah. Why you say he ain't going there? Why
spaghetti spot? Spaghetti. What? I'm gonna go there. Eminem, bro.
Hey, what's your?
That's who blew us up.
What's your mama teach you about eating motherfucking spaghetti?
Huh?
What your mama teach you about eating motherfucking spaghetti? What they tell you?
I don't know. I don't know that.
They told you don't eat no just don't eat about spaghetti. No, when you next time you come, we gonna take you somewhere where it's just like home.
But we're gonna go to Eminem spot too and go to that too. Shout out.
Just to clarify, he probably means, some good old-fashioned soul food, man. No spaghetti, meatballs, all that good stuff. Like, we're going to take it back to the essence, man. Neck bones, I'm talking about oxtail, curry goat, curry chicken, etc., etc. I think that's basically what he's saying with the jerk and all that good stuff, ribs. The stuff that sticks to your ribs, man. Give you a belly, that pork belly and all that good stuff. I'm getting hungry just thinking about this, man. But I'm just saying, nothing against Eminem's spot, man. Like, Mom's Spaghetti, or I think that's what the spot is called. Fire, but Yayo's a real one, man. His loyalty to Eminem is so deep because I remember back in the day when he was locked up at the birth of G Unit, or when G Unit was just getting its legs and getting some momentum, right? I remember Eminem performing with performing somewhere. And I think he had a t-shirt that said Free Yayo, right? And Yayo was in prison at the time, and he was watching this on the prison television, and he said you'll never forget that, because at that point, the world was like, who's Yayo? Who's Tony Yayo? It's fire, man. Like, who can say that they had, Eminem do that for them? It's wild, man. There's a lot of history here, man, and it's fire, bro. It's fire, man. But Dawgface does have a valid point. Whether he's talking about checking in or the Allstar JR case, he has a very valid point.
Eminem, shout to Shady.
That's family.
They invite you there too. It's a Detroit thing, man. Pontiac thing.
I ain't going there.
And what is it with the buffs? Y'all love buffs. He got diamonds all in that shit.
It's jewelry.
So yeah, this is what happened and took place, man. And the whole interview was about an hour and some change long. I just wanted to do my my reconnaissance and just see exactly what Dawgface was saying about the situation as a person who's directly affiliated. And for a long while, and I think you guys are with me with this one, when T Grizzly said, "Hey JR, ain't it a blessing?" I never realized that he was talking about Allstar JR until recently, man. I'm not gonna front. If any of you guys out there realize the same late and you didn't know about it, and I'm talking about and know about it, sorry. And I'm talking specifically about people who are outside of Detroit. Detroit people, they obviously knew who he was talking about, but us outsiders, we did not have a clue, especially me. All right, and I usually know things, man. Not this time. All right, now with that being said, I go by the name of Caesar, aka Mr. Sneaker Rider, and you're tuned in, or you have been tuned in to yet another installment of Apparently This Happened, and it was a good one. It was a really good one. Dawgface is a character. I've been seeing him everywhere, and I expect to see him in more places. Yayo and Uncle Murder doing their thing, man. It's impressive that they've taken, whatever momentum they've attracted or gained with being with G Unit and touring with 50 Cent to build up their own platform, and look who's affiliated with the platform and look at their sponsors. It's a vibe, man. It just goes to show that you can transition, pivot, do a little spin. Today I could be doing this, and tomorrow I could be designing clothes. Who knows? All right? Random, I know. All right? Do me a super solid like, comment, subscribe, and what is today's word of the day? Stick to the code, man. Whatever your code is, a good code, man, a code with morals and principles, man, stick to it, man. Stand on your square. Own what you do. All right? And above all, say it with me. Don't chase a number, chase a dream. All right? I'll get up with you guys in a second. 1.
Worldwide.